Welcome to the Tipsy Guest Podcast. I am your host, Marco Buenrostro, and every week I'm here with the top industry experts, amazing clients, and all my vendor BFFs to bring you the best tips, advice, and juicy behind-the-scenes stories to make wedding and event planning a breeze. So grab your favorite drink and let's get this party started! Hey guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Guest. I am Marco, your host. Today I am very excited because we are going to be talking about drinking. We have Kobe. He is the owner of Southern Standard Elevated Bar Services.
Yes, I am.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh my God. So I met you a while back at a wedding expo, at a wedding show.
Yes.
And I mean, those signature drinks you had there, so good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
I just feel, I mean, every time, you know, we do a lot of wedding events, we do a lot of wedding shows, wedding expos, open houses, and things like that.
Yeah.
My number one place to visit whenever I'm, you know, like after the open house or whenever it's dying down a little, it's always the cake vendor.
Yeah.
The barbecue vendor and the bartending people. I mean, those are my three spots to visit.
Yeah, the barbecue is up there for me too. Yeah.
It is. I mean, you know, it's normal when we do open houses or the wedding shows.
Yeah.
You know, the first 2 hours to 3 hours, it's so busy because, you know, you're talking to all the couples.
Oh, yeah.
But then, you know, the last hour of the shows are always, you know, a little bit like slower. So that's
For
the
sure.
time that we as vendors, we get to walk around, network with the other vendors, and take, of course, advantage of the drinks, the food, the cake, like all the good stuff.
You know, it's funny that you say that because when we're packing up for, you know, open houses and shows to where we will be serving complimentary drinks, I always take into account the vendors more than I do the guests, right? Because I know the vendors are like, hey, we work together all the time and like we can't drink at events, but finally I get to try some of your drinks. I want to. Like I've been seeing this drink around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I want to finally give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, we're there to have fun. Of course, we're there to, talk to the couples, but we like to have fun too.
For sure, yeah. What's the point if you're not having fun, right?
Yeah. All right, Kobe. So talk to me about your company. I mean, I know we were talking earlier, and it sounds like, I mean, you love what you do. I'm excited for this. So talk to me about your company. When did you get started? Like, what do you do? Like, what's your specialty? Tell me everything.
Yeah. So, you know, kind of long story short, we started in the fall of 2019. COVID kind of slowed us down a lot. My wife's in the wedding industry, and I used to work on power lines. So, you know, at that time, the wedding industry slowed down, and we sped up in the infrastructure type of business. So I curbed the business, the dream of the business. And so, you know, finally, July of 2022, I jumped in with both feet. And, you know, we have just been growing from there, having a good time. I feel like we do things really differently than some others. I feel like we have really mastered the basics, you know, and that is showing up on time, every time, providing a consistently good service with the same products every time, you know, and we don't let the quality of our service ever waver just because we're busy or the type of drinks or the weather or whatever it might be. We just provide a consistent service. I think that's so important so that when clients see us at different events and they hire us for their event, they know exactly what they're going to get, right? I also think it's really important for people to know as well that we are not a staffing company and we never will be a staffing company. And so what I mean by that is we will never just give a bunch of materials to a bartender and say, hey, you know what, go have fun and good luck. You know, there you go. If a bartender is alone at an event or there's several bartenders there, that means that there is a team lead on site or the office manager or myself. And so with that being said, those bartenders have a team lead to report to. And the team lead, we don't hire from outside of the company for team leads. We promote within. So we like to teach them our ways of doing things. All of our recipes are just a little different. We like to kind of tweak them in the way to where you can't just look it up online, you know, and find that one recipe. Especially there's this cocktail that I created and I filed a patent for. I actually signed a mutual NDA with a beverage consulting company to hopefully maybe one day put it in production, but it's called the Honeymooner, and it's a refreshing take on a piña colada, and that's our signature move. Like that is at every open house for sure. The Honeymooner's there. It's at a ton of our weddings. So yeah, it's things like that. We bring lights to all of our events for uplighting and downlighting. We bring greenery to all of our events to make the bar a little bit more of an inviting space. I know
Yeah.
it's inviting already when it's an open bar, but we want it. We want the experience for the couple to be as best as it can be. And what I mean by that is it's really important, and I preach this to my team all the time, is I don't want this to feel like a job. Every event that we go to, especially weddings, it's a privilege to be there.
Of course, yeah.
Not only is it the holy matrimony, they're making a pledge, in front of their family and friends and under the eyes of God to each other. Also, they cost a lot of money. Weddings are expensive. And so if you want to make something important to somebody, make it expensive. So, we treat it accordingly. Make guests feel like they have a friend behind the bar. Maybe show them an experience that they've never seen before. Make drink recommendations. Don't just point to the menu and say, this is all that we have, We like to make craft cocktails. We like to go out there because people at weddings always remember the top three things. It's number one, how was the food? How long was the ceremony? And, they also think, was there an open bar?
Yeah.
That's it. The people remember those three things. And that's, and they'll remember, like, was there a lot of dancing? Was there not? All that stuff. But I want the fourth thing for people to really remember is, hey, I want a spicy margarita at this restaurant. So they go get the spicy margarita and they say, you know what? You remember that spicy margarita we had at their wedding? That was so good. I haven't had one like that since. That's super important to me, is that guests receive an experience that sets us aside from others and makes us memorable. But two, it's really good for the clients. It's good for our couples getting married because, their guests have a good time at their wedding. So, we're really different in that way, is we're not a staffing company. We send our leads out. And we just really care about being there. And we care a lot about doing a good job for our clients. But I think it's just as equally important to do a good job for the professionals involved. And so what I mean by that is we show up in plenty of time, ample time, to make sure that we're set up and we have an efficient bar space, something that we're going to be able to control, and that we're going to be able to, we're going to be able to handle the masses. And I compare every bar service to a battle, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes it really feels like a good butt kicking. I've been there. I've seen every type of bar service. But what I mean by, doing a good job for the professionals is not biting the hand that feeds you. And so show up, make sure that your bar service is set up, everything's good to go, and don't just go sit on your phone or go sit in your car until the wedding starts. Look around.
Yeah.
If you see an older woman on a catering team carrying a bunch of trays or trying to open up doors and they're struggling, offer a hand. If you see a wedding coordinator that's stressed and it looks like their hair's on fire, they're so stressed out, say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah.
And they'll probably tell you no, but they at least know that we're there to help them. We introduce ourselves to the police officers or the security there saying, hey, this is who I am. This is who I'm representing. If you need anything from us or any help from us, just let us know. We want to make sure that everyone knows that we are there for the health of the event, the entire event, not just for the bar services. That's so important. And I can always tell you when we're going to show up. I can never tell you when we're going to leave. Because we clean until the bar looks better than how we found it, bar none, every time. We don't.
I love that.
To me, it's why would you leave a mess at a place that is allowing you to perform your services at? They do have the option to say no.
And you want to make sure that you're welcome back to this venue as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And two, also, nobody can ever say, hey, you didn't clean up after yourself. No way. We mop parking lots, sidewalks, flagstone patios. We clean up, other, grenadine and soda messes and wine messes that we see, and we get it, stuff spills, stuff happens, but I just make sure that in no way we could ever leave any of our mess behind, and so that's really important. That's so important to me, actually. When we're packing up for events, one of the most important things on that packing list is, hey, do you have all your cleaning supplies? It's really important, unless we're in dirt, gravel, or grass, we're mopping, and I've had a couple of really nice wedding venue owners, they'll come out and they'll say, oh, no, Kobe, you don't have to do that. And I'll tell them, I want to do it. And they're like, no, don't do it. And I'll tell them respectfully, you're going to have to break my arm because I'm going to do it.
You're doing it, yeah. And it's, I feel like when it comes to that, I feel like it's because their cleaning crew, I guess, is going to have to redo it either way.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's just standard for the cleaning crew, to cover every single place or spot in the venue.
Yeah.
But I see it from your point of view. Us, like, for example, me with the photo booth company. That's what I tell my photo booth attendants as well.
Yeah.
Before you leave the wedding, make sure that there is absolutely no trash or scraps of like the paper, or even when we take extra photos and people leave them by the photo booth.
Yeah.
I'm like, you get all those photos and then go give them either to the wedding planner, or put them right on the table where they have their guest book, or just do not just leave stuff around, because that it looks bad. Two, again, you want to make sure that you keep the space clean, because then the venue is going to notice that you left a mess behind, and then you're just not going to be welcome back to that venue.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I can assure you that when we work somewhere and when we pack up and we leave, you would never know that we were ever even there. That's a guarantee. Other than the signature Santa Fabuloso.
Is there a specific flavor that you like?
The lavender, the purple one for sure. Yeah,
I think that's like the main one that everybody like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think I have that one.
Yeah.
But okay, Kobe. So, of course, you're there to do all these different drinks.
Yeah.
When during your meetings with the couples and stuff like that, I guess a point that you brought up right now, that you create all these different drinks for the guest.
Yeah.
So are you limited to only make the drinks that you discussed with the couple? Is that part of a different package, or is that an upgrade that you can just make other things, whatever the guest request from you? How does that work?
Yeah, so with our package number 2 and higher, packages that we have to offer, not our basic package, but package 2 and higher, we offer an optional tasting that is complimentary with those packages, and they'll come in and they'll try 8 to 10 of our most popular cocktails, things that we believe we make better the most. Things that go over really well at weddings, right? Something that hits almost everybody's like flavor palette. I do highly recommend 2 signature cocktails, and if you have to have a third, maybe a dessert cocktail, we make a really good pecan espresso martini with a homemade pecan demerara syrup. That syrup is a labor of love.
Why did I not ask you to bring a whole tasting for the episode?
And I could have done that. We are a mobile service, right?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to try that one. I'm just gonna go to your office and just be like, hey, I want to taste your signature drinks.
Yeah. So we talk about those. I love the tastings because they're a really valuable tool. Especially for the clients that are putting a lot of trust into us that we are going to provide, and guarantee that we don't run out of everything that we supply. When they're supplying very little of things in their package, and they're paying us at a higher price point for a larger package, our most popular package, it's important that they feel at ease and that they can rest easy knowing that we've got it. We're the professionals that take care of the event. They should not have to worry about us at all. From beginning of the booking till the end of the night when we're packing up and telling them congratulations. We want it to be the most, the smoothest experience that we can provide for sure. So, with the signature cocktails, I always recommend put your signatures on the menu, and even if you're just a tequila soda person, right? Pick a margarita or get like a blackberry paloma, or do a spicy margarita, something that has that tequila in there, because with our higher package, we bring Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, water, sparkling water every time, no matter what. And we have a lot of it. So if someone just wants a whiskey and Coke, have an old fashioned as your signature, so that if someone walks up to the bar and says, hey, I don't want an old fashioned, can I just do a whiskey Coke or bourbon and Coke? We'll tell them, of course, we have the stuff for it. I just don't recommend putting it on the menu. Yeah. Because the guests, they'll look at the menu and go, in every single event, I can guarantee you there will be a rush at cocktail hour. And people are really excited about the open bar. They really believe in their abilities to drink. And so they're going to look at the menu and they're going to want to see everything that you have to offer. And say you have 150 people that rush the line, right? If each person takes about 8 seconds looking at the menu because they're unsure, the guy at the back of the line that just wants a beer is going to be pretty irritated.
Yeah.
And he looks at us like, hey, y'all are the slowest people ever, but really
it comes back to you.
It does. Yeah. It all rolls downhill. But yeah, so I just recommend, 2 to 3 signature cocktails, and then, have 3-4 different beer options, a red wine, white wine. And then we also do frozen margarita machine, like frozen daiquiri machine rentals, if that's something that you're interested in. But kind of just keep it to where, have a little bit of something for everybody there, but don't stress so much about pleasing everybody's flavor palette there. The best alcohol for the guests at your wedding is going to be free and cold, and most of the time it doesn't even have to be cold, right?
Once they're dancing and they're all excited, and
for sure.
I mean, they just want something.
Yeah. So, I try, I'm on my client's side, of course, heavily when it comes to, hey, y'all pick what y'all like. This is y'all's special day. And they'll find something that they like, I promise you,
Awesome. And question, and right now, that because everybody likes something different.
Yeah.
What about the people that don't drink? Do you guys offer mocktails? Is that part of...
So this past Saturday, we actually just did a quince that had a mocktail bar and a cocktail bar, right?
Nice.
So we have had we had a really large quince about a year ago, maybe, or less than a year ago, that... I mean, it was more extravagant than your average wedding, right?
Yeah.
And so they came in for a tasting. We did a cocktail tasting, and all the cocktails that we could easily make as a mocktail as well. We made those as a mocktail. We gave it to, their daughter to try, and she got to pick her mocktails, which was really cool, and
That's
it made her
pretty cool.
feel special. Yeah. And so we just curated the menu to where, I love serving mocktails to people. To me... non-alcoholic beverages, there's no liability in that transaction, right? So, yeah.
Have you ever done an event where it's just mocktails?
Yes, I have. And so, mocktail services to me are more stressful than cocktail services in the way that if you make a good drink that has alcohol in it, people are happy. If you make a good drink or an okay drink that doesn't have alcohol in it, people aren't going to come back to the bar, and they're going to be kind of upset. So you have to make a great mocktail. So we did a homemade agua de sandia with freshly muddled jalapeno in it to make like a mocktail spicy watermelon margarita type of agua fresca. It was rimmed with tajin. Some people wanted chamoy on it.
Oh, man.
It was really good. We made a homemade agua de piña, and we also had virgin honeymooners there. So we have done strictly mocktail.
I want to try this Honeymooner one. I definitely want to try that one. I'm telling you, I'm making a list here because I am going to come over one day and just be like, hey, I am here for it.
Yeah, just shoot us an email and schedule a tasting, right?
Do you guys offer... Speaking of that, do you guys offer any type of services like that where it's just like a tasting, let's say like a group of friends for like a bachelorette party or
so
not like a full bar service, but almost like little flights of different drinks for smaller tastings or something like that. You know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah. So kind of instead of booking us for a service, but booking us for a tasting, maybe like a cocktail experience.
Yeah.
No, not as of right now. We do not. We have a lot of tastings that we have to get through, and I don't want to take something like that on and take attention away from our booked clients, especially on something as special as their wedding day. I think that would be really fun, and I think that it would be cool to collaborate with some other vendors to maybe do a whole like afternoon experience, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be fun to do something like that. Maybe a cocktail class.
There you go. Yeah.
Something to where, hey, they can come out and they can learn how to make, our smoked old fashioned or our pecan espresso martini. All that stuff would be really fun to do.
Yeah. And, and I like that. I like that answer that you don't want to take away from your actual, from your actual clients, from from what you do, which is bartending. Which brings up a question.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about it earlier off the air, and it's I love your focus on on what you do because as we were discussing, there are companies out there that try to do so much that they don't like. For me, I do photo booths. I can do any photo or video experience for all kinds of events.
Yeah.
But then when people ask me like to start offering other things that have nothing to do with with photo booths, I'm like, no, like I am really good at what I do. I don't want to start bringing other things that will take away from what we know.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this case, have you ever had any experiences, let's say with other, not necessarily obviously with your company, because I know you're so focused on what you do.
Yeah.
But we work with all kinds of vendors every single day, every single weekend. Have you, this is a part of the Tipsy Guest that we like the drama. We like to talk about other people here.
That's so funny.
But no, seriously, without, of course, you don't have to obviously put anybody out there, like name dropping or anything.
Yeah.
But have you ever had any issues with other vendors? I know you mentioned earlier, that you like to help out, like once you're done with your setups and stuff like that. Have you ever seen anything, behind the scenes, drama just with other vendors that, of course, the guests are never really going to find out about, but we as vendors, because we're there early in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Any cool stories? Any tipsy stories like that?
Oh man, goodness. Mine are not so much with the vendors. Mine are more with the guests. Now, when people ask us, to kind of circle back to if people ask us to do things that we don't offer, right? Or just say, hey, you know what? We kind of want a one-stop shop thing. I always make recommendations to others. I don't want to try to accommodate that and us jeopardize quality of our services, because brand recognition is everything, so we don't, I have a preferred set of vendors list for my company that, all of my clients, at their tastings, I ask, hey, is there any vendors you need, anything left? And sometimes they're like, yeah, we're just kind of looking for something fun, or like, oh no, we really need a DJ, or man, like a coordinator would be awesome, because we didn't expect to have to put in this much work. There's so much behind a wedding. And so as far as that, I always make recommendation. I don't take it on myself. As far as on the day of, I would say maybe, there's been a couple times where I've seen a DJ that didn't have like a downloaded playlist.
Oh man.
They were trying to, stream it over Wi-Fi or cellular service, and we're just out in the middle of nowhere. Some of these venues out here in the hill country, in San Antonio and Austin. I mean, it's most of the venues, it's hard to get a good signal. Yeah, for sure. And so I've seen stuff like that where it's like, they're really stressed out, and if there's a will, there's a way, and they make it right for their clients. And my thing is, I always like to stand up for my clients, because again, when clients for a wedding day, a bride and groom, or whoever's helping them with their booking, or, a couple in general, they unintentionally are assembling an A-team, right? They're picking the vendors that they believe will make their day go off without a hitch.
Yeah.
So it's super important to do your research into which vendors are going to do that for you, and who isn't just concerned about, I don't care about anything other than, photo booth, or I don't care about anything other than bartending or DJ services. People that see something, even if it's a piece of trash on the floor, and they pick it up because they know that that's not what the guests want to see. That's not what their clients want to see. Assembling that A-team is so important. So to me, I'm a really nice guy, I feel. I'm not super confrontational. One thing I will do is, stand on business when it comes to business, and when it comes to, my family. And there was a DJ one time. I don't even know who it was. We were doing a backyard wedding, and this gentleman, he got the bride's name wrong at the father-daughter dance.
Goodness, what?
He called him up after getting their name wrong, and 45 seconds it's not a long time, but it feels like a long time when everyone's looking at one person waiting for them to do something. And he was scrolling, trying to figure out what song he was going to play for the father-daughter dance, until a groomsman screamed at him to just pick a song. Anything.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was horrible. And so his speakers were so loud, you could smell them burning, that he was playing two different songs on two different speakers 30 yards away from each other. His microphones weren't charged, and so he had them connected to the speakers like a foot away. And so everyone was having to stand there like that. It was crazy. So, I went over to him and I just told him, I said, hey man, like, you got to kind of get it together, just in a short thing, like, you got to get it together for these clients. I think that, it's really important that you show up to every single event and do your absolute best job, so that, even at the end of the day, if something happens and it's not favorable for you, right, you can walk away saying, I did my best and I was prepared as I could be, But other than that, I don't really have any crazy stories with vendors. I think that that's the only time to where I was ever like, I can't even believe this. This is crazy.
I mean, and it's so crazy because, I mean, it just ruined the mood, the moment. Like,
for sure. And let me tell you, I highly advise against having your cousin or your brother or your uncle with an aux cord, okay? Because we don't allow vendors to drink at our events. It's in our contract because they're there to provide a service, right, on the day of. So it's really important that they are not, their judgment is not affected by us at all. You
exactly.
know? But, you know, when you have an uncle, cousin, brother, it's like, are they a guest? Are they a vendor? You know, you don't know.
Because then that puts you in a weird situation.
It does. You know, it really, really does. And so then they'll start drinking and they'll just start changing the songs in the middle of the songs when people are dancing because it's not what they want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't with that.
It's crazy. Yeah, I've seen it happen many times, and I'm like,
I feel like you guys have like a cool spot, you know, at the bar to get all the scoop, all the gossip of what's happening at the wedding.
Oh yeah, man.
But let's do this. We're running out of time.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think this is my open invitation for you to come back because I want to hear all the stuff that you guys get to hear at the bar. I feel like we can have you at another episode and talk about, you know, all the cool things that you hear, all the drama.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah. No, I definitely want that. So right now, please remind our listeners where they can find you, either social media, your website, phone number, whatever you want to throw out there to make sure that they can go look at your stuff and of course potentially have you. I mean, it sounds like you guys are an awesome company to work with.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
So please remind us, where can we find you?
So you know, we would also, I mean, every time, you know, all the time, we love followers on our Instagram. You know, just people that are kind of staying in the loop with what we got going on. We do have our own liquor license, so we do set up and sell to the public sometimes at certain events. So shooting us a follow kind of keeps you in the loop of where we're going to be if you want to come by and get a pecan espresso martini.
Will.
You know, stuff like that. But, you know, the best place for Instagram, our handle is Southern Standard Bar. Our website is www.southern-standard.com. And the best way to kind of inquire about our services, more than anything, because I like to give my clients something that they can read in front of them and refer back and forth to, is to shoot us an inquiry on the contact tab on our website. And then you will submit those bubbles of information. You'll receive our general inquiry message back along with a PDF copy of our price sheet. And in that initial email, there's a couple bullet points of information that we would need from you if you decide that we're a good fit and you'd like to move forward. After that, you'll receive all at the same time, the retainer invoice, grand total invoice, and the e-sign contract so that you can read everything over before you pay anything, sign anything. We like to be fully transparent with all of our clients, and we like all of the expectations to be met. So you know exactly what you're getting when booking our services. My phone number, if you have, you know, a time-sensitive question, is 830-237-2332. If I don't answer your phone call, it's probably because I am either at an event or, I don't know, trying to wrangle up my kids. But I promise you, I'll get to you as soon as I can. But the best way to get in contact with us with your questions or inquiries would definitely be through our website on the contact tab. But we would appreciate the follow on Instagram.
There you have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And speaking of following us, or following Kobe here, follow us as well. Tell your engaged BFFs about the podcast. We are here every single Tuesday with new guests every week. And, you know, we're just here to, you know, have a casual conversation, just show you guys what the world of weddings is like. And then, of course, you know, all the vendors that we interview here, they're all local vendors to the area, which, you know, San Antonio, Austin, the Hill Country, because we want to make sure that you guys get the chance to potentially hire them for your big day.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, Kobe, we're going to have you again, I'm sure, sometime soon.
Yeah.
So, again, this is your open invitation.
There we go.
Thank you, guys. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Tipsy Guest podcast. If you know someone who could benefit from these tips, spread the love and share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Next round's on us. Same time, same place. Cheers! This podcast is brought to you by MVP Photo Booth, the #1 photo booth rental company in San Antonio, Austin, and Central Texas.